What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Luna wakes up with amnesia and is unable to recall her crimes. The Bold and the Beautiful gives a hint that Luna Nozawa might wake up with amnesia and not be able to remember what she did. Could that be the upcoming turn of events in this wild Luna story? Fans of B&B will recall that Luna arrived in Los Angeles with a much more gentle persona. That innocent young woman's transformation into such a sinister maniac was unthinkable. Luna was both the cute girlfriend who had an affair with R.J. Forrester at work and the hero who discovered Eric Forrester's stapler. Who would have thought that same Luna would be capable of all the horror she ultimately inflicted? After Luna killed Paul Hollister and Tom Starr, she made Poppy Nozawa appear to be to blame. Luna eventually held Steffi hostage in a cage before she was finally arrested. Naturally, Luna was pardoned by Bill Spencer, giving her the opportunity to wreak even more havoc on the criminal justice system. Before the terrible drama at the beach house with Steffi, Sheila Sharp, and Liam Spencer burst into flames, Luna posed a threat to Will Spencer's life. Although Lee Finnegan claimed Luna was dead at the hospital, we know she's hiding her niece and granddaughter's survival. Luna is comatose in Lee's care, so it's just a matter of time until she wakes up and wonders what's going on. Luna might wake up with amnesia if B&B wanted to throw an even bigger curveball. What if Luna's mind reverts to a simpler time like when she first got to Los Angeles and had such big dreams involving her internship at Forrester Creations? Luna's reaction to the news of all the terrible things she has done would be fascinating. Since she wouldn't remember either, Luna would also need to keep up with news about whether or not John Finnegan was her father. This could help Lee with the second chance she's trying to give Luna. Through an amnesia twist, the show could give Luna a little bit of a fresh start, though viewers would probably wonder if she was faking it. According to the Bold and the Beautiful, Luna will undoubtedly deliver more shocking events, so keep an eye out. It's true, Luna is alive. That didn't take long, did it? On the Bold and the Beautiful, it appears as though the blood has barely dried and Luna has barely said her goodbyes, but she is already back from the dead. We suppose that she never really passed away. And to be honest, we are not entirely surprised. We were unable to save Lee's life at the hospital because she was acting far too strangely overall. The script was the next thing. However, on a soap, nothing is certain until we see it on screen, and today, Bold and Beautiful showed us that Luna is alive and well and being cared for by Lee. Is anyone else reminiscing about Finn? Sheila Lee Finn bedside B&B. The thing is, while we know what Lee was trying to do with Finn, save her son's life and keep him safe from Sheila's sociopathic obsession, we're a bit less certain about what she wants to do with Luna. She recently informed Finn that she will be taking a leave of absence from the hospital to complete a task she ought to have completed a long time ago. That may sound ominous, but if she wanted Luna dead, she would have undoubtedly allowed her to pass away in the hospital. Perhaps she intends to nurse Luna back to life and show her the affection she so desperately requires? No, that isn't what we see. Perhaps she has another idea to tamp down Luna's homicidal tendencies and heal her mind. Or perhaps she simply cannot bear to see her granddaughter go unpunished, and she also does not believe in sending her back to prison. After all, it didn't work for either Luna or Sheila. Lee could simply lock her granddaughter-in-law up because she wanted to prevent her from causing her family any more harm. About all we know right now is that Luna is, indeed, still alive, proving that you can't keep a good villain down. But then, soap viewers know that better than most. Luna Nozawa's eyes fluttered open in a sterile, dimly lit room that smelled faintly of antiseptic and lavender, her favorite scent, though she had no idea why. The only sounds of life around her were the machine hum and the soft beep of a heart monitor. The ceiling tiles above her head looked unfamiliar. Her breath was labored. Her arms hurt. She tried to get up and reach for her head, which throbbed like it had been through a war zone, but she was held back by a dizzying confusion that covered her mind like thick fog instead. When she called out, where am I?" her voice cracked. But more haunting was the question she didn't have the clarity to ask, who am I? Luna was unaware that, just a few days earlier, nearly everyone in Los Angeles had spoken of her with horror, rage, pity, and even fear. Headlines had declared her death. The police files were kept secret. Poppy Nozawa, her mother, had been wrongly accused of a deadly scandal that shook Forrester Creations and the Spencer family to the core. But Luna, once the intern with starry eyes and an endearing nervous energy, had become a walking nightmare before her sudden vanishing. An unraveling psyche that culminated in murder, extortion, and betrayal had been hidden behind her charming exterior. She had killed Tom Starr and Paul Hollister in cold blood. She had trapped Steffi Forrester in a basement cage. She had threatened the life of young Will Spencer. And yet now, in this hidden corner of Los Angeles under the watchful eye of Dr. Luna had no recollection of it. Lee Finnegan. "Luna, you're awake," came a soft, cautious voice with years of clinical authority and a hint of uncertainty. "Doctor." Lee Finnegan stood over her niece, technically her granddaughter, arms crossed protectively across her chest. Her expression, unreadable but shaded with guilt, flickered with something between maternal concern and calculated strategy. In contrast to the chaos she had recently embodied, Luna looked at her with wide, empty eyes as she blinked up at her. Luna's fear of the unknown overcame her, and she wept. "I don't remember anything," she said. "Who are you?" At first, Lee didn't say anything. Her silence was deafening, stretching between them like a canyon of buried truths. This was the moment Lee had been dreading and preparing for. She hadn't let Luna die on that operating table, despite what she told the world. She hadn't turned her over to the authorities either. After everything, after Luna's violent descent, her arrest, her dramatic beach house confrontation with Steffi and Sheila, and her sudden comatose state, Lee had made a call only someone with her power and privilege could make. She falsely reported Luna's death and took her to a private care facility under an alias. She was not questioned. Nobody dares. However, Luna looked at her now with the same innocent blank eyes she had when she first arrived in L.A. Lee was forced to consider whether she had acted appropriately. Was this a second chance for Luna or a second act in her chaos? "You're safe now," Lee finally said, choosing the most neutral response she could muster. "You have experienced something traumatizing. You've been injured." That didn't lie. Technically, it had all been a psychological accident, a culmination of dark secrets, repressed memories, and long-dormant rage triggered by revelations about her parentage and rejection from those she sought love from most. Discovering that John Finn Finnegan was her biological father had been the breaking point. It had set Luna spiraling through identity crises, feelings of abandonment, and ultimately, violence. However, this Luna was unaware of that. "I don't remember anything," she whispered, clutching the blanket that covered her body as if it could protect her from a truth that hadn't been revealed. "Not even my name." "You're Luna," Lee said, her voice softening. "Luna Nozawa. You came to Los Angeles with big dreams. You worked as a fashion house intern. You got lost for a while, but you're going to be okay." Luna's lower lip quivered. "Fashion house? That seems familiar." Lee watched her closely, examining her niece like she would any patient, but this one wasn't just a clinical case. This was personal. Too personal. Lee had already watched one family member, Sheila, destroy lives while claiming she had changed. She couldn't bear to see Luna follow the same path. But what if fate had intervened? What if the amnesia-cleansed Luna really was a different person? There was something poetic, almost Shakespearean, about the situation. While those around her wrestle with the ghosts of her crimes, a young woman commits atrocities but forgets them, essentially becoming a new person. The moral quandary was enormous. If a person truly forgot what they had done, could they be forgiven? Is it possible to accomplish justice without remorse or memory? However, that was not the only issue. Luna's past, though erased in her mind, was still present in the world around her. The families of her victims, the media frenzy, the political backlash after her highly publicized pardon courtesy of Bill Spencer, all of it lingered. And now, should word get out that Luna was alive, it could bring devastating consequences, not just for her, but for Lee, Finn, and even Steffi. The entire Finnegan-Forrester-Spencer web would be pulled into chaos once again. Protect Luna and this new chance at redemption, or prepare to face the avalanche that would erupt when someone discovered the truth, was Lee's only option. Meanwhile, back at Forrester Creations, R.J. Forrester, Luna's former love interest, was still grieving what he thought was her death. He had not been able to accept that he had missed the warning signs. To him, Luna had been the sweet intern with big ideas and bigger dreams. They had even dreamed of building a future together, flirting in fabric rooms and kissing in between fashion meetings. But the Luna who murdered, who deceived, who held Steffi hostage, that woman was unrecognizable to him. He had been led to believe that she was physically and emotionally gone forever. The idea that she might still be alive would shake him to his core. Additionally, Poor Finn. Learning he was Luna's father had rocked his foundation. Over it, Steffi had nearly abandoned him. Their marriage was barely recovering. Finn had loved his daughter deeply and mourned her loss, while also fearing what she had become. Giving her daughter another chance while keeping him in the dark, his mother was now hiding that very daughter. What would he do if he found out? The possibility that Luna's memory might come back also loomed large. Amnesia on soap operas was rarely permanent. A sudden sound, a familiar voice, or even a scent can sometimes bring back memories quickly. And if Luna's did come back, if she remembered the crimes, the blood, the screams, the betrayal, who would she become then? Would she crumble in guilt and beg for forgiveness, or would she revert back to the chaos she had embodied before? Lee wasn't sure. Luna, on the other hand, appeared content for the time being. Over the next few weeks, Lee began rehabilitating Luna's mind and body in secret. She told her half-truths and fabricated a backstory that painted her as a young woman recovering from a traumatic accident. Luna accepted it all with the trusting naivety of someone who had no other choice. She asked about friends, about family, about love. Lee lied, saying her parents were gone, that she had no siblings, that she had few friends left, but promised to help her rebuild her life.